Okay, so welcome to remote learning, everyone. This is our unit 1 outcome 3. So this is the final outcome for this particular unit 1, and this is a lengthy outcome. Okay, so we are going to spend a few weeks to go through this chapter, which is chapter number 3 of your textbook. It is planning a business, and we mostly focus on the internal environment of the business. Okay, now in the previous area of study 2, we was focusing on external environment, how the external environment affects our business. Okay, so external environment consisted of operations, macro environment factors, and external factors. Okay, now with the internal environment, we are just going to discuss what is internal to our business. Okay, now the internal environment affects the approach to and success of business. Okay, now the internal environment, the environment of a business affects the success of the business planning. Okay, the owner of the business will generally have more control over the activities. Okay, now in external environment, the business does not have a lot of control over the activities, but in internal environment they can set up the activities, they can do whatever they like in the business. Okay, activities, functions, and pressures that occur within a business. Okay, these factors such as business models, legal business structures. Okay, so legal business structures means proprietorship, partnership, private limited. Okay, so these are the legal business structures, business models, and staffing. Okay, so these are all decided by the owner of the business. Okay, now they will be influenced by external factors as well, external environment. Now, for example, in this coronavirus thing, most of the businesses are actually laying off their employees. Okay, so employees are a part of their internal structure of the business. Okay, but these are being affected by the external environment at the moment. So what we can say here is some of the factors will be affected by external environment, but most of the internal environment we will have control over it. Okay, now students will explore the factors within the internal environment and consider how planning decisions may have an effect on the ultimate success of business. Okay, so we are going to look at a range of internal sources, internal factors. The first one we are going to discuss is the resource need. Okay, resource need is on page 111 of your textbook. Okay, so which primarily consists of natural resources, labor resources, and capital resources. Okay, let's take a look at it in a little bit more detail. Okay, now resources needed. Okay, so business resource needs and the factors affecting their choice. So natural, labor, and capital resources. Okay, these are the main kind of factors that you will need to run your business. Okay, now let's start with the natural resources. Now, what are the natural resources? Like the word itself says, these are the items used by the business that come from the natural environment. Okay, for example, land, water, raw materials. Okay, the resources that can be sourced naturally. Okay, now when as a business we are running, we are producing goods and services, we need to make sure that we are considering some factors. Okay, for example, the products that you make in a business should be environmentally friendly. Okay, they shouldn't have a lot of impact on ruining the environment. This is really important. Okay, now how can they reduce wastage and environmental damage during the production process? Okay, so these are all the things that you need to consider as a business, and you also need to consider if the natural resources are actually sustainable, easily accessible, and they are within the reach of your business. Okay, so you don't want to be spending a lot of money to source the natural resources and then your product is not worth that money. So these are all things that you need to consider. Now the next one is labor resources. Okay, now labor resources is mainly referring to the people that provide the skills, effort, and knowledge to the business. Okay. Now, a business can also hire subcontractors to provide labor if it is not practical or possible for the people who own or are employed by the business to do the work themselves. Okay. Now, you will see many big businesses will have subcontractors. So they'll come to do some work and they'll get the money for that work done and they'll just go away. Okay. So they are different to the employees. Okay, employees are the permanent employees of the company. They work every day and help the business. However, subcontractors only come to the business when the particular work is required to be done. Okay, now again, labor resource is a human resource. Now, if you make any decision in terms of your business, that is going to have the effect on the lives of the people working for that business. So employees are going to have the effect of what you plan. Okay. Now, when you're planning for business, you need to look at the labor resource needs. Okay. So you need to look at how many workers you will be needing. Okay. What kind of skills are required for your business? So you need to hire the people who are actually beneficial for your business. Okay. What kind of training you need to give to them to be able for them to work for the business. Okay, so you need to figure out what the training requirements will be. How are you going to pay them fairly? Okay, giving them healthy working conditions. Okay, this is really important. Okay, sometimes employees don't go behind the money. They want a really good environment. They want a good boss. Okay, so you need to be able to address all these issues. Okay, we are going to learn all of this in your year 12 as well. There's going to be a lot of detail about this. Okay, how are you going to resolve any disputes that arise with the employees? Okay, so you need to think of some plans how you're going to resolve any disputes. Okay, when there's more employees working in a company, there are going to be disputes. Even at your home, you might be fighting with your siblings. Okay, there are disputes, so you have to resolve them. Same as business. Okay, so just be mindful of that as well. And the location of the business. Okay, does the location of the business allow access to the types of workers that it needs? Okay, so your location of the business should be accessible to all the employees. It should not be very hard for them to get into. Okay, now workers who are happy in their jobs are often more productive and loyal to the business that employs them. Okay, this is a golden rule. So as a business, if you look at doing a business, you need to make sure that your employees are happy. Okay, the last thing that I need to cover today is capital resources. As we only have single session today, I'm just going to go through this and then we are done for the day. Okay, now capital resources is the capital equipment. Okay, equipment that is required to actually produce the goods and services. Okay, so this machinery. Okay, this is required to produce goods and services. So capital equipment such as this harvester can complete the work that once required hundreds of workers. Okay, so these are the capital resources that your business might need. Okay, now these are really important because they increase the efficiency of labor. Okay, so if you have one person working on this machine, that person will be able to do more work that 10 people will do without this machine. Okay, so it actually increases the efficiency of your business and your labor as well. Okay, now again, as I said, capital resources refer to the tools and machinery that are used to produce goods or perform services. Okay, now they might be different for every business. So depending upon your business, you need to think of what kind of tools and machinery will be needed for your particular business. Okay, so this particular equipment is required by the harvester. Okay, but it may look different for a different business. Okay, now how will the business repair, maintain and replace its capital equipment when needed? Okay, so you need to think about those things as well. How are you going to repair it if it gets stuck, if it's not working anymore? Who is going to repair it? Who is responsible for the maintenance of your equipment? Okay, does the business have the right workers with the right skills to operate the machinery they need? Okay, so again, when you're hiring the employees, they should be able to use that machinery, not destroying the machinery and making it hard for them to use it when you're producing goods and services. Okay, so this is all we need to cover for today, because as I said, it's only one session. Now what I want you to do is, on page 113 there are some activities: test your understanding and apply your understanding questions. Look at the task questions, and you should start working on that. But before you head on to that, this is one other slide that I want to cover. Okay, now list 5 resources that would be used for the following businesses. Okay, so I want you to work through these questions before you actually jump onto the activities. Okay, label the following resources as natural, labor or capital. Okay, and this is the video you can watch as well. I'll put the link in the task section. Write down the 3 natural, 3 labor and 3 capital resources that Midfield Meats would need to run a successful business. Okay, let's work through these questions in the class time, and the activities questions as well. Okay, I'll post the links in your task section. Okay, alright, that was it for today. Happy learning. Bye bye.